We'll call this meeting to, thank you, Laura. Call this meeting to order at 11 o'clock, Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. We're here for purpose for tax deeds for 2020, and we need to do this in a hearing format. So I'd entertain a motion to go into a hearing.
I'll motion to go into public hearing.
A second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Dost,
Yes.
Commissioner Cassidy, here. Commissioner Zimmerman,
Here.
Okay, so we're in a public hearing mode. We've already mentioned if you want to speak to please sign up this morning. And I'll go through the county rules for public hearings very quickly. The sign-up sheet, nobody can testify unless they have done that. Nobody should speak before the group until they've been recognized. All public hearings will be recorded electronically, on this case audio and video. Please speak clearly and loudly so that they can hear you on the video. Please do not interrupt the speaker. If you have evidence you want to submit, please have 4 copies of that to hand out. People attending the hearing, please engage in a respectful manner. Once the hearing is closed, no further evidence or testimony will be presented or considered, and we will do deliberation afterwards. So at this point, I will go to staff report, turn it over to the treasurer. Tell us what you got.
I have 15 parcels that will be entered in as tax deeds. And I just read off, it's for 2020 also. I read off parcel number, name, and physical address.
Okay.
So whenever you guys want me to start.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Raymond E. Hansen Trust, parcel number B 0200028000. No known address in Wallace. Raymond E. Hansen Trust, parcel number B 020002900000. No known address, Wallace. John, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sure Broucaret. Parcel number B 045000A026A. No known address in Wallace. Richard L. McNinch, Jr. Parcel number C 01000050002A, 1105 East Garden, Osborne, Idaho 83849. Python Financial. Parcel number E 005000020230. No known address, Kellogg, Wardner, Idaho 83837. WDEA Haight, parcel number E 005001200170, 601 Main Street, Wardner, Idaho 83837. Edith Seiko, Mark J. Seiko, Ann D. Totfest, parcel number O 09500110001A, 483 Burke Road, Wallace, Idaho 83873. Stanley Carl Taylor, Vicky Gill Taylor, parcel number O 320006010A, 202 Main Street, Woodland Park, Wallace, Idaho 83873. Chicago, Milwaukee, and St. Paul Railroad, in care of K. W. Miller, manager of property. Parcel number 42N02E072450, no known address. Teresa Andrews, parcel number 48N02E083550, 1777 Pine Creek Road, Pinehurst. Diversified Machine Technology, parcel number 48N03E0385550, no known address, Big Creek Road, Kellogg. Catherine Higgins, Lewis Higgins, William H. Higgins, parcel number 3E0755, no known address. That one's a minerals only. Michael L. Cornell, parcel number 48N04E20500, no known address, Mullen Avenue, Osborne. Dennis L. Lohoff, I believe is how you say it, parcel number 49N01E359560, 55 Hughes Road, Kingston. And last one, David W. Goodman, Kathy A. Goodman, parcel number 49N02E204950, 315 Hammer Lane, Kingston, Idaho, 83839.
Okay, you mind me having only done this once, so from us, then after we do all the rest of the hearing, you just need us to approve the.
You'll
the
make a
decision.
resolution with all the names and parcel numbers on it.
So
and
approve the
addresses.
resolution.
Mhm.
Okay,
And then I will record the documents, the tax deed documents after I get that today.
okay, so what you need from us then, just
The signed resolution.
signed resolution?
Yep.
But, which we have to put together.
And I will give you these so it can be recreated.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Anything else to add at this point? Okay, then if you'd handle that list so I can see what we have here. We have one person who's asked to speak, giving testimony. Is that in support, neutral, or opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed? Okay, so we don't have any support or neutral speakers today. So opposed, Mr. Haight?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and share, we'll give you 2 minutes to share, or 5 minutes, I'm sorry. 5 minutes to share whatever you want to share on this.
Well,
Could I interject?
Sure.
I think we should, first of all, if I could inquire of Mr. Haight directly, would that be okay?
Oh, all right.
Mr. Haight, are you appearing in your own capacity as a spouse, or are you appearing as an attorney on behalf of your wife, the property owner?
I guess I'm appearing, well, my wife owns the property, and I, of course, have a half interest in it by reason of social, the community property law.
Well, it was I believe it was a separate property inheritance, but there may be a colorable community property claim. I'm not contesting your right to speak. I'm just trying to ascertain the capacity in which you're speaking.
Well, I'm not sure how to answer that.
Are you representing your wife?
Yes.
All right. So if there is a contest, just addressing the board again, if there's a contest of a tax deed, then pursuant to Idaho Code 63-1006 sub 2, then the board shall hear evidence and witnesses and make a final decision in writing, which shall include findings of fact and conclusions of law. So my suggestion would be that we allow the treasurer to make a record. We allow Mr. Haight to make any record that he would like to make, and then the court would take it under submission, and after deliberation, make the decision and issue a written opinion subsequently, but not make a ruling from the bench, so to speak. So, if that hopefully that's helpful.
Do we pull that one aside?
So the other ones are basically proceeding as uncontested. This one would be dealt with separately. So you
Okay.
can do a resolution on all of the other ones, and this one we're going to have to do a findings of fact in law.
Okay.
Okay, but at this point, I would still allow him to speak.
I guess that the reason why I was prompted to interject was that you were putting a 2-minute or 5-minute time limit on him, and now I'm not saying that the board wouldn't have some discretion to curtail his time if he was excessive in it, but I would say that I wouldn't start out with preempting, by limiting him to only 2 minutes or 5 minutes. He needs an opportunity to be heard and make his case and make his record.
Even though our county rules are 5 minutes.
I do think that this is sort of a quasi-judicial sort of situation.
All right. So, Mr. Haight, would you like to go ahead and present?
Well, I guess my problem is that there is a $30,000, whatever it is, filed by the city of Wardner, and no one has any information on it that I have been able to determine. I never received anything from them. I have no idea how I just don't have any idea what that they spent $30,000 on, if in fact they have.
Could you explain that a little further? You have a $30,000 what?
This I have here, a tax bill, I guess. Dated April 8th, 2024. And on that, they have a 2020 claim for $23,021.69, a late charge of $460.45, and $97.81.44 plus an item on the cost. Anyway, the total is $33,763.58, and we have never received any information on that claim by the county, or more specifically by the city.
Okay, well, I'll give the treasurer a chance to respond here in a little bit. What else, do you have other things you'd like to make a statement on, or?
Well, just that they have failed to comply with the statute.
Do we think that the audio is picking up, Mr. Hank?
It may not be.
Maybe we should move up to the table.
Would you like to go ahead and join us? It's probably
Yeah,
useful.
spread out as much room as you need, sir.
Oh, that's okay. Just fumbling with papers, which one I have to find here first. So anyway, I guess my point is that they have not complied with the code 11605, which is 631005, and I believe that division of the code requires that I be given
He's referring to,
essentially I should have received a copy of those by certified mail, and we never did.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, that's all I have at the moment.
Okay. Then I would ask for, if you would like to respond and answer some of the questions or statements that have been made.
so I was just handing out the copies that we'll be referring to. Would you have a copy of that?
Yes, it is.
So back in 2020, City of Wardner certified $23,525 to his tax bill. By law, I give a list and I certify the specials to each parcel that's specified. As long as they are following the rules of name, parcel number, address, and all that matches our criteria in our system, then I can certify it. I send a list over to you guys, and you guys sign off by resolution, and I apply them. So then that tax bill was mailed out on 11/17/20 with that charge on it. And then I sent a certified letter notifying all parties of interest on the 2020 taxes being delinquent. And it went to D.W. Tate at 601 Main Street in Wardner. That one did come back, returned. And then one to the heirs of William G. Elliott. That one was refused. The ones that I did get signed on, I sent 4 total.
Sorry, who did you say? Elliot?
It's on the next page. Right there. And then I sent one to the city of Wardner and one to W.D. Tate at 1137 East Skyline Drive, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, 83814. And does she go by D?
Yeah.
She's the one that signed for the certified letter, which was the notification of the pending issue.
And what was the date of that?
4/26 is when I mailed it.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask if does that answer your question?
I didn't receive any of this paperwork. My wife didn't receive it either.
Is that not her signature?
It's hard to tell. I don't know who this is. Signature. I don't know for sure. She signed for this.
So my
But I started last week, 3 weeks ago, trying to get some information on this. I started with the treasurer's office, and they said they knew nothing about it, and referred me to a Ron who has some capacity with the city of Wardner. I left a message, I think, once or twice, and I finally got a call from him, I think it was late last week, and he said, well, why don't you send me a description of the property and I'll refer it to my attorneys. And that's where I'm at. So I haven't received any of this. This does look like my wife signed for it. But the name and her address are correct. Well, 1139 she uses. So this I've got a question mark on. And there are no errors. P.O. Box 962. 962 is an old address for me, which is been a long time, defunct, 10 years or so. So I guess I'll run through this. The treasurer's given me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
one more.
Well, counting from the page, I didn't receive number 2, which is affidavit of compliance. I'm not sure about this other thing, which would be the 3rd page of what she has given me. 1, 2, and this is a repeat.
If you pull it apart, the second one is stapled because that's what was recorded by the clerk's office.
Well, I'm just counting through the pages. I've got 2 copies here of
It's meant to be that way.
Hmm?
It's meant to be that way.
Well, I'm trying to identify 26th day of April, 26th. Those I did receive. I have really not received any of this additional information. That's where we're at.
Okay. Closing.
So one thing, when any of the interested parties do not receive their certified letters or sign for it, or someone else in the household has signed and not given them the letter or whatever, every parcel gets published in the newspaper because of that.
What newspaper?
Shoshone News Press.
Yeah, I don't get that.
We just have to use the local newspaper.
I understand. We never read it.
As owner of the property, it appears she did sign and receive that
Mhm.
paperwork.
Is that a yes?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Council, by our rules, we've heard from both parties.
If, so the only, I would just ask the treasurer to walk through, the additional steps that were taken.
Okay.
Yeah. In terms of the affidavit.
Like all the way back to,
No, just, yeah.
okay. So, the affidavit of compliance is what we're referring to. Let me get mine. Alright, so the notice of pending issue gets created after I receive the foreclosure and title search back from the title company. I received that back on 4/26, and then, I'm sorry, on 4/22. 4/26/24, I created the pending issue. I mailed it out to all 4 parties of interest per the title search from Flying S. And whether I receive all 4 back or not, signed or not, I still put it in the newspaper. I published that on 6/4, 6/11, 6/18, and 6/25 of 24. I have to do that no more than 2 months or less than 14 days prior to tax deed issue, and I had a 29-day span. Then I record the affidavit of compliance, which I did on 7/11, which contains the document, the signed letters, the return letters, the affidavit of compliance in the newspaper, and the notice of pending issue copy. And that has to be recorded no less than 5 working days prior to tax deed issue, and I did 9 working days prior to tax deed issue. And now we're here.
And you provided to the board your, the notice of pending issue of tax deed as well as the
I did.
affidavit.
Yes. And the copy of the City of Wardner certifieds that year. And I received it on July 20th. They just had to have the preliminary to me by August 1st, their final by September 1st, and they complied with that. And then the last document is just the fees and costs that the county has incurred to take care of this tax deed process.
And that's entitled Shoshone County Tax Deed Cost and Fees Itemization.
Okay,
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I just, if I can inquire directly with, Mr. Haight, the chairman's okay with that. Mr. Haight, is there any other, evidence or argument that you would like to present?
No,
Deem the matter submitted, and we'll rule on it in writing and due course.
all right. With that, we've heard from all parties that had asked to speak. We've heard from the treasurer. At this point, I think we would close the public hearing. Would entertain a motion.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Zimmerman,
Here,
Commissioner Dose,
Yes.
Commissioner Cassidy. Here.
All right. Commission deliberation. I think if I'm understanding council right, we're going to separate these issues, this one out from the rest of them.
Yes.
Okay. And so I think what we need is a motion to do a resolution
For 14 parcels.
for 14 parcels.
And we'll hold that one.
Okay. So let's deal with that first.
Okay, I'll move for a resolution to include these 14 parcels. Tax deed.
Tax deed.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that carries. Help me with the language council on this one. I guess, do we need to give a timeline when we're going to give a written response?
There's not a timeline required by code, so it's just a matter of coming up with the decision and then the written findings of fact and conclusions of law. So I think that would be difficult to do on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to have to create another public meeting for that discussion, or is that an executive session?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. So we're going to have to do some research.
Yes.
All right. So for your issue, we will do some research. We may have another meeting on that. We'll have to have some sort of meeting on it. So we'll keep you appraised of that, and then we will respond in writing.
Okay. Will I have a chance to meet with you, or, have your final decision, whatever it may be, presented to me, or my wife? I'll bring her if you want.
If there's a public meeting, then we'll get you notice of that. If there's not a public meeting, then you receive the written decision.
With no opportunity to be heard at that moment.
Your opportunity to be heard is today.
Okay. Thank you for your time and appreciate your thoughts on the issue.
Could I butt in one sec? Can we just verify that we do have the correct mailing address, so when it is mailed
40
out to-
years, it's been 40 years.
Is it 1137 East Skyline Drive?
Or
Berlin?
1135, or 1135 or 1179,
Which one do you want? to use?
whichever you prefer.
So is 1137 East Skyline Drive okay?
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho 83814?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I think our business here is concluded. Can you think of anything else that we need to?
Except I have that for you.
Okay. Can I accept any more evidence at this point?
Well, I think it's closed, but
I think we have closed the hearing part.
I was hoping to avoid having to serve that today, because I'd still like to know what the county, the city, how they ran up $30,000.
yeah, well, this is not evidence. This is what he's purporting to do is to serve the treasurer as the defendant, but it's supposed to be a summons and a complaint on a lawsuit. That's what it appears to be.
Okay.
So. All right, so that won't
That won't impact us. All right. So we are adjourned for today.